Hey everyone, it's Mark here and welcome back to Digi Profits. Following on from yesterday's video where we talked about reasons why the Joule price dropped, we gave several reasons why, including the wider market stuff that's been happening in detail behind the scenes, some of the things that have gone on. So if you want to check out that video, then I'll leave the link in the description below if you haven't seen it already. But this video, I just want to look more from a technical analysis standpoint. Now that we've had our bounce off the $1.26 fib line. Yeah, it's kind of wicked below it, but pretty much held there for several hours, $1.26. And now we're testing, dip down and retesting our fib line, which is at $2.04. So we've gone above $2 a little bit, come back down, and now we're $1.98. And we want to have a look at where things could head from here. What's some potential targets, either to the upside or to the downside? So we're going to cover that in today's video. So from a technical standpoint, so I'm not going to be going on about the news and so forth in this video. Yes, there are things coming with pets. There's stuff coming with Crystal Veil, with being able to bridge heroes over or be able to buy heroes in over there and stuff like that. I'm more thinking about, well, what effects could those things have? Where could they move the needle to? Potentially, and also some other factors that could move the needle outside of the control of, say, DeFi kingdoms in the short term. So, like looking at the graph here, if we were only looking at Joule and USDC stablecoin or US dollars in isolation, then we would be looking at, well, we really want to hold support. We've got a few levels of resistance here to get back into an uptrend or to re-enter the larger downtrend that happened there with Bitcoin also being in its own downtrend, like to get back over to here. We've got a bit of work to do to get back up even to $6 or whatever it could take time, and to get into its own uptrend that will probably take a positive move from Bitcoin like above 50K to go outside of this zone. Otherwise, I could see it being a bit difficult, but you never know. But for now, I think that the initial targets are simply that you utilize the game to earn more of the Joule token itself, so that even if you got to $6, it's kind of effectively worth like $10 or more because you have so much more of the coin by then. Okay, so looking at this, like our little targets there, $2.04. We've got our downtrend line here, which held as support, well, as resistance there, resistance, broke through it, but then we bounced off it as support, fell straight through it on all of the stuff going on recently, but I would say that we want to hold that as support again on the way back up. So $2.04, we've got the double thing. We've got the massive trend line that started here when BTC did its dump. We also want to be able to break through that. And you can either do that by going sideways. We could literally go sideways for a week or so and end up over here and then move up. That's fine. Sideways is bullish action at the moment. Sideways or slightly downwards, you'd still end up there in a couple of weeks past your resistance lines. It would mean you'd be getting enough new players in and so forth. Or you can go straight through it. If we, in the next couple of days, saw it go to $2.22, that's reasonably, and if it bounced back and hit $2 and then bounced up, you would say that's reasonably bullish, at least for the short time frame. That would say that we're likely to hold this as support and perhaps be able to move either into this larger channel here or bounce off the mid-level resistance line before making our move up back into it. And then looking at the Fibonacci lines, though, we've got the next one would be around $2.68, and then we're looking at $3.30, $4.20. So I kind of look at those things short term, like it's just little indicators that, yep, we're on the right track. I'm not saying you necessarily need to buy in on those, but if you have never bought Joule before, then I totally understand you should be dollar cost averaging your way in. So you never go all in. You only go in with maybe 20% maximum if you were just starting, just in case we went to here, here, and here. And that's our downside points of view now. Like I did a couple of Fibonacci retracements, not in this video, but that's how I came up with these lines here. Like the main Fibonacci retracement would be 78 cents, but there's also resistance around $1 or 99 cents around there as well. Plus, it's kind of a psychological point of view. A lot of people just go, I'll buy if it hits $1. So, there's a little bit there as well. But that would be our next level down, would be around 78 cents. Not saying it can't go lower. In a real bearish situation, it can. There's always a lower. But quite often you also find that as long as the project, you believe in it and that they're going to keep building on it, that also can present a very, very awesome opportunity to be buying in. So that's why you never go all in, keep a lot in stable coins, and then be able to just edge in a little bit more every time you have what you call a red day or a red week. Not always a red day, but if it goes below a level that you've never bought at before, then you look at it. Okay, so those levels, there's always every chance it could hit there, and I don't know where the next level is below that. It might be 60 cents. I don't know. I'd have to do some more calculations. But again, those are harder and harder to hit, those levels, because we've been up so high as well. There's so many people that think that we're underpriced, and perhaps we are. And if we break through these levels, then we've got more support again back on there and back on here at those levels. There are people that are kicking themselves that didn't buy when it got down there, so they're going to buy when it comes in around here, here, and here. There's a lot of natural resistance now because people remember where it bounced from. So you could get a double bottom there, and that's also bullish because sometimes you need to retest your bottom. Okay, so that's it. If it all stood in isolation, though, I think that things would be tailing upwards, but there's a lot going on in the market and so forth. So let's go have a look over on TradingView. I'm going to have a look at the wider markets first, not Bitcoin, but the wider markets, because we know that a lot of people that have a lot of money, well, institutions that have massive amounts of money in Bitcoin, they also have a lot of stocks. So if they're taking money out of their stock investment, they'll at the same time go risk off with some Bitcoin as well. So that can affect that. And if people see the Bitcoin price going down, quite often they will also go risk off on assets like Joule and DeFi Kingdoms and stuff like that. However, lately in the last couple of days, Bitcoin's it's dropped a little bit, and it hasn't really affected DeFi Kingdoms because it probably dropped too far. So that's gone up while Bitcoin's gone down because it's not really that correlated to it just in the short term. But looking at this, we are holding. Well, look, we were first of all holding the 50-week moving average, bang, 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 like that. And now this is on a weekly time frame, remember, so this could play out quite slowly because these are weekly candles. Right now we are holding the support line here at this Fibonacci level where we've held it 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 times, 10 times, 11 times. This is around about the 12th time we've been testing this level. So sooner or later, some people believe it could break through, and then we could end up either down at this fib level or on this level of support right here, which we sometimes have at the 200-week moving average. It is also possible that there's a bit of support around this level here. I could draw a little line here because historically we're seeing that there was a lot of resistance to get through, and then there was support at that level that we bounced off on the way up here. So it's a bit flimsy to see. 1, 2, 3, it was resistance, and then it was support. So it's not like a thick line, but that's also another place where if there's going to be a bear trap where people start shorting the market, if we go to here, it's possible that that's all we end up going to before getting back up on our merry way above the line. And some people also point to the fact that the wider markets, that we may be headed for something like, whoops, I've got the wrong tool there, that we're heading for something like this. See this happening. Some people are like, wow, like that's happening now, rolling over. Like look at the pink line and the yellow line there, your 25-week and your 50-week moving average, 25-week crossing over under it. Well, some people will look and say that's what's happening there. The pink line is about to cross under the yellow line, and we're about to have a major dump, and we're going to end up down here. Not saying that can't happen. That's why we dollar cost average in case crazy stuff happens, you know. And that's also why you don't want to be all in terms of your projects, even on one crypto. Like, have diversity. You know, I'm talking about DeFi kingdoms the last several days. I'll get onto other cryptocurrencies too at times. Bitcoin and Ethereum are definitely the lowest risk currencies outside of, say, a stable coin as well. And just bear in mind, like, you're wanting to, you know, play the blue chips as well, and accumulate on those dips too. But obviously, like DeFi kingdoms, that's more of a play that it could 30x itself. It could make a lot more on a bull run, but it also could go a lot lower before it makes its 30x move. So you want to be able to dollar cost average your way in so that you end up maybe getting a 10x out of it by the time you've got that average right. But they think this, but look at how long we were oversold on the relative strength index for that to happen. Okay, so if you look at the length of time, or you guys can't see the time on this because it's just off the screen, from the bottom to the top was a decade. So we're talking a decade. All right, I remember when that was happening. It's like the dot-com bubble and stuff like that. That was 10 years. So from the bottom to the top this time, we're talking 3 years. Now, it is true there was a shorter bottom to the top from here to here. Kind of just went duck and then went up. So that's like a double bottom for the stock market, and then we were away. Okay, so could this be a shorter? I don't know. I can't tell you whether it's going to be longer or shorter, but I can say that it's less likely to be able to drop as far because it was oversold for a shorter period of time. And we had COVID, which really let the pressure off on the RSI. So from a relative strength index point of view, last time we were well and truly oversold for a 10-year period. And here, the time in which it's been oversold has only been just over a year. So it's not that long. So it's already, I think, the fourth largest drop in the last 20 years. So it may not need to go much lower. It's possible that it holds and we're on our way up before, like, the downturn in the stock market. The true downturn could be years away. We don't know. Okay, there's nothing deterministic about it. So that's just, you know, there's reasons why you could be bullish or reasons why you're not. Relative strength index certainly is quite low, so there's always chance that we go up from here. Now, what about Bitcoin? Well, I've got this logarithmic regression graph just to show you guys. I went over this a little bit in the last video, and as you can see, over the course of the history of Bitcoin, this is going back to 2011 here, you know, we usually hold this mid-level of this particular regression band as support, and the top level is usually the top of the market. You know, at this time we didn't hit the top, so the top ended up dropping down, and then that was the true top. You know, and that could conceivably be happening here, where that is the mid top that you see here, and the real top could be up there. Okay, so that's a bullish scenario. Even the bearish scenario is not too bad. If this is the end of the market cycle and that was the top, then I would say it's not like this, where the top had a blow off top, therefore the bottom has a blow off bottom. It's not like that. It's the top. You're more likely to see a bottom that doesn't go as low as this. So how does that play out in terms of price? Well, then if we're actually in the end of the market cycle now, and it's not a little bit later, then you're talking, well, we could hold support around this level at 33K-ish, you know, maybe go down to the gray line, 33K. If something cataclysmic happened, like a COVID or whatever, it may still only take us down to 29K. So there's a lot of support going on for cryptocurrencies in the world. The Fed stuff that happens with their announcements, yep, it could cause a massive candle down, but it doesn't mean it's going to last very long as well. So bear that in mind. Like, look how long that lasted. It went really quick, and then that was it. Band-aids off. We just moved up mostly from there till we're up here. Obviously, stuff happened, COVID hit, bang. But that bear market, you know, it just takes a while to just crawl your way back up through the bear market. So if that happened, if this is the end of the market cycle, we're looking at the next time we go up, maybe 2024, and it could be as high as 300K. All right. 2024. There's definitely different scenarios that could play out anyway in this. You could find that we have one more hit to the upside, hit about 87k, end up then coming down here, the end of the market cycle being at 46k-ish, going bearish for a bit, and then creeping up. There's so many different ways it can play out is what I want you to know. So we're at a point though that's good for dollar cost averaging because we're not right near the top end of the band. That's a hard time to buy into crypto because you might be catching the top even though everyone's euphoric. They're euphoric because they were buying down here. And where are we? We're near the white line. So you definitely want some of your position to be established near the white line in case that is the bottom, right? So just to bear that in mind. And so that's how it can affect the price of Joule, because I mean, if you go back and you look at Axie Infinity and the history of that, I mean, it was $10 at one point, and then it went down to $3, and it was born during a bear run, and then, you know, it was really low, and then next thing you know, it was $164 when Bitcoin, you know, flew up over 60k, you know. So those that held it from $3 to $164 made over 50 times their money. Those that bought in even at $20 made 7 or 6.5 times their money. Not to forget the massive 75% APR it pays on staking. So if Axie Infinity can do that, you know, Joule obviously is one of those ones that could potentially have similar type action, and that's the only reason really to go into the slightly riskier ones, because they're fun, obviously, to be in if you like the project, but also because they are riskier because they can drop further lower, but they can also go up higher. So that's something to bear in mind. So anyway, that's it for my analysis today. It's just more looking at the wider markets, giving you good few little targets there, and just to let you know, like, you just can never go all in this stuff. You've got to always keep stable coins aside, or money in cash that you can put in so that you can lower your average position, because if you do end up with the downside, like, you know, some people thought that was the bottom and then they ended up thinking, right, we're on our way up, but nope, it actually went down to there, and you would love to have been able to buy there, and there on the way back up, and then have the larger share. But if you have gone all in here, then you have a nervous few months until you end up over here and then going up. Okay. All right, so that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, or dislike if you don't like it, and feel free to leave any comments. That's it from me. Bye for now.